Good morning, my dear students. Today we will discuss on a carburetor. Okay, what are the components of carburetor and how it will work? Okay, na in a vehicles. Almost nowadays all petrol vehicles are using carburetor. Okay, so what is a carburetor means what? So it is a device which prepares a homogeneous mixture of air and fuel for the working of an engine. The main function of this carburetor is it will mix the air and plus fuel with an equal amount of proportional. Then it will supply to the engine. From that we can produce the power and it will supply the engine. Okay, that is about the carburetor main function. So not only that, so carburetor, the main function of carburetor, it will keep a small reserve of fuel at a constant lead. Okay, second one is it will generate a vaporize of fuel and prepare a homogeneous air fuel mixture in a cylinder chamber. And not only that, and it will also the meter the liquid fuel in such as a quantity to so as to produce a air fuel mixture required to meet all the condition of a load and speed of an engine. Okay, now that is the main function of carburetor. These are the functions of a carburetor. So it is a primary purpose to produce a mixture from air and fuel to operate an engine. Okay, now this is about carburetor. And so same, that is it is a gasoline engine which cannot run on a liquid gasoline, but it must vaporized mixed with an air in the proper proportion for the various condition purpose. Okay, now so what are the parts of a carburetor? Okay, now the carburetor must create an air fuel mixture that is a correct for different circumstances such as a cold or hard starting, so I even idling apart throttle acceleration high speed operation also. Okay, so these are the basic some components for the carburetor system. Okay, first one is a carburetor body, air horn, throttle valve, venture, main discharge tube, and fuel bowl. Okay, so this is the carburetor diagram which will be fixed in the petrol engine almost all the vehicle. Okay, so here is shown here A B C D, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So here A B C D E. So A means air horn, choke plate, external bowl vent. So all parts names are mentioned here. Okay, na? So first, what is the air horn? So the main function of air horn it is also called as a throat or barrel. Okay, now the main parts which often fasten to the air horn body as follows. So that is the choke, the hot idle compensator, the fast idle linkage rod, the choke, vacuum brake, and sometimes the float and pump the mechanism also it will do. Okay, so throttle valve function is it is a disc shaped valve controls the airflow through the air horn. Okay, so this is about the throttle valve which will be there in the diagram. Okay, so venture, so here venture means small cross section area, that is it is a produces a sufficient suction to pull the fuel out of the main discharge of a tube. Okay, the main discharge tube, the main function of this is to pass passage that connect the fuel bowl to the center of the venture. So okay, now it is also called the main fuel nozzle, fuel bowl. So as the name indicate, fuel bowl holds the supply of fuel that is not under the fuel pumps or pressure. Okay, so how does it work? So just I will explain here. So normally here it contains a number of parts. Okay, normally air enters top the carburetor and is mixed with a liquid fuel which will be coming from the fuel tank. Then air fuel mixture is forced to intake into the manifold by the atmospheric pressure and burn into the combustion chamber at the engine. So one from the carburetor device, one side from the atmospheric air is entered after filter, then another side is from the fuel tank. It will supply the fuel and both will mix up at the venturi stage, then that will pass to the engine. So that is the main function of this. Okay, now in the combustion chamber, same, that is a spark, that is a combustion takes place, and number of spark depends upon the number of cylinders which are used in the vehicle. Okay, so this is about this. Okay, next one is air fuel mixture. So it is a constant proportional air fuel ratio will mix up and will give the combustion chamber. The mixture will vary the depending on the condition. Okay, and if heavy engine means it will vary. So the proportion is given as the number of pounds of an air compared to the number of pounds gasoline. Okay, now so what is the pressure difference? Also along with that, a pressure difference also it will produce. It work on the principle of air pressure differences. When the discussing a pressure difference, we will take about the vacuum, atmospheric pressure, and venturi. So these are the three components which we take and consider during that process. So in vacuum function is it is a area completely free of an air, atmospheric pressure. So from this we can suck the air from the atmosphere. Okay, and not only this, it is an absolute vacuum and it is not reached in a small engine. Okay, Any pressure less that atmospheric pressure is generally referred to as a vacuum system. So atmospheric pressure, so here atmospheric pressure, it is a pressure produced by the weight of an air molecules beyond the molecules above the earth. Okay, next venture. Okay, so now in venture the pressure will decreases and it will increase and send to the next process, that is combustion chamber. It is a venture is a restriction in an air passage, that increase air speed of an velocity. Okay, speed or velocity may can increase in this area. So vaporization, after once it is combustion takes place, then although a venturi breaks the fuel into a fine particle and it will get vaporized. Okay, and the heat of the engine in the intake manifold. So after that combustion takes place in the vaporized particle, what we got from the venturimeter, that will send to the combustion chamber. Here the cold fuel is difficult to vaporize. This is why we choke or prime a cold engine to help get it started. Okay, so this is about the working of this what carburetor. Okay, so just I will explain this once again, the how does it work. So normally this carburetor consists of a number of parts. Okay, first one, it will consist of an air. So air, it consists of any filters. From the filters, air is sucked into and it will pass into the choke. Okay, in the choke, there is some small cross section area that is called as a venturi. Here I shown here. From the air, it will passes into the after getting filter, it will pass into the venturi pores. Okay, another side of fuel, from the fuel tank, it is passes to the this choke area, and that is okay now throttle valve. Okay, now from the throttle valve, from the fuel tank, fuel is enters into the near to the venturi through throttle valves. Okay, when it will open and closing mechanism will take place. Here in venturimeter, both air and fuel is mixed up, and it will mix up very equal amount of proportional fuel ratio. Okay, from that there will be passes, that mixed fuel is passed into the what is that is called a fuel tank. Okay, in the that is a nozzle. From the nozzle again it will pass us into the combustion. Okay, in combustion the fine particle of air fuel mixture will combustion takes place. Then from that spark ignite will takes place. From that we will get a power, so that we can move the vehicle. Okay, this is a small working of carburetor. Just to understand that carburetor means it is a device which will mix up, it will mix the air and fuel with an equal amount of proportional, then it will send to the combustion chamber. Okay, that you have to note down carburetor means. Okay, so I hope you understand this. Thank you.